Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know this rush hour of August 23, Friday. I'm Riza Diaz. We start off today's rush with some good news for small-town lottery operators. President Duterte has lifted the ban on STL operations, but not without some conditions. Malacanang is now requiring STL operators to provide a cash bond equivalent to 3 months' worth of the PCSO's share in their monthly receipts. That's on top of the other existing cash bonds deposited to the government. Now, if the authorized agents won't be able to remit the full and on-time guaranteed monthly retail receipts, then the 3 months' worth of cash bond goes bye-bye. Now, under the conditions, STL operators shall also provide in writing that they will comply with the agreement and will not file for any injunction to prevent the government from exercising its rights to prerogatives. Now, take note that these won't be in effect just yet until the release of an IRR or implementing rules and regulations. Malacanang says STL operators which violate the conditions will have their licenses revoked. The Bureau of Corrections says it will thoroughly review Sanchez jail records, but Bucor Chief Nicanor Faeldon thinks Sanchez may not be eligible for early release due to his misbehavior. Romy Lopez has the story.
As clamor to know the whereabouts of Antonio Sanchez grows, the Bureau of Corrections shows proof of life. The former mayor of Calauan, Laguna emerges from Bilibid's maximum security compound. Sanchez, a rape slave convict since 1995, has been the key topic of debate sparked by Republic Act 10592, which could soon free thousands of inmates for good conduct. But Bucor Chief Nicanor Faeldon says the former mayor probably won't qualify for early release.
Meron siyang incident na nahulihan ng drugs dun sa kanyang kubol. So that will also be subject to review. Hindi ka entitled sa good conduct time allowance. Sigurado ako, I will not allow computation of good conduct to anybody who has participated in the selling of drugs or provided sanctuary or supported or provided harbor to any drug peddlers while they are here. Hindi sila entitled niyan. Kahit na napakabid niya dyan.
Still, news of Sanchez's possible release has stirred controversy. Senator Franklin Drilon, who prosecuted Sanchez in 1995 when he was still Justice Secretary, urges the courts not to free the former mayor. He says an investigation into the law on prisoners' good conduct is still in order.
Do not release Mayor Sanchez. Ngayon, kung talagang ipipilit nila, I would assist the Sarmienta family to bring the case before the regular courts. Question natin yung exercise of that discretion.
Senate President Tito Sota agrees, saying the measure intended for aging, well-behaved prisoners is now being abused. But Senator Bato de la Rosa, a former Bucor chief, says Sanchez deserves a second chance if the law doesn't find that he's reformed like the jail guards tell him.
Tinanong ko kayo mga gwardiya doon, andyan pa ba yung Calawag Mayor? Sabi, sir, andyan pa, sir. Mabait na, sir. Hindi na siga. Malumanay na. Changed man. Nakapalda na, sir. Naka-lipstick. So, yun lang ang sabi nila. So, ibig sabihin, hindi na siga. Mabait na.
Justice Secretary Minando Guevara says the law is clear. It is up to the Bucor to decide which prisoners will go free and lawyers to determine why.
Ngayon, kung ang tingin ng mga tao, hindi, ang bigat yung ginawang krimen yan, hindi dapat na mabigyan ng second chance yan. Assuming na gano'n ang attitude ng mga tao, you go to Congress.
222 inmates have been released for good conduct, 100 more are under review. Bucor did not give a time frame for the releasing of prisoners. But with 11,000 inmates covered by the new law, the process is expected to last up to 4 months. Bucor assures the public they will be fair and impartial.
Those are just candidates. It may not necessarily mean that the 11,000 will go home. Baka 1,000 lang mag-qualify. They are subject to the recomputation. So hindi ibig sabihin yan 11,000 will go home.
For News 5, Romy Lopez. We are One News.
The UP Los Baños community staged a protest against the possible release of Sanchez. Meanwhile, the families of those victimized by the infamous mayor are now hoping that the early release won't push through. Jen Kalimon has the story.
The pain is all coming back. This is how the mother of Eileen Sarmenta describes her agony after knowing that the killer of her daughter could possibly be released from prison.
Masakit kasi nagmo-move on na kami even after 25 years, 26 years. It took us that long to live, and especially me, to live a normal life. Kasi every time I see news about yung mga gruesome things na kinamamatay ng mga anak, bumabalik sa akin yun, umiiyak ako, miskin na ako lang mag-isa nanonood ng TV.
Sanchez's sentence may be lessened under Republic Act 10592, which increases the good conduct time allowance for inmates. Carla Sarmenta could not push through with filing a petition to the Board of Pardons and Paroles because it is not covered under the measure.
Gusto ko rin kita. Humingi kami ng gusto namin kung talagang entitled siyang ganun because of behavior. Show us the proof. Show us the proof and the computation of how you arrived that he is eligible for release.
Mrs. Sarmenta expressed support for reviving the death penalty for heinous crimes.
If ever I will support it. Pero parang mas mababawasan siguro yung mga sobrang sama ng mga kriminal na sobrang sama, especially now.
She also questions the possible influence of Sanchez's former lawyer, now Presidential Legal Counsel Sal Panelo.
I'm not accusing him that he did it, but simple lang naman yun sa amin as a ordinary citizen. Yung iisipin mo, wala naman iisipin. May pera si Sanchez, meron siyang connection.
Panelo had earlier denied this accusation and commits that Malacanang will not meddle in the issue.
The palace cannot oppose a law. If we have any concern on the wisdom of the law, then it should be addressed to the lawmakers.
Meanwhile, the mother of Alan Gomez attended the protest rally at the University of the Philippines, Los Baños.
Now I am talking with rage now because this is how I feel.
She insists former Mayor Sanchez does not deserve to be released early for good conduct. They plan to coordinate with the Sarmenta family's lawyer to block Sanchez from going free.
Why are they doing it now? Personally, sa akin, ang reading ko dyan, it's a ploy. It's a political ploy para maisingit lang siya.
Reporting for News 5, Jen Kalimon, We Are One News.
The revival of a mandatory ROTC finally returns to the spotlight as lawmakers tackle the proposal over at the Senate. But things took a wild turn when Senator Bato de la Rosa lost his cool over one question that's off topic. Greg Gregorio will tell us more.
The Defense Department stood their ground during the Senate hearing on the proposed revival of mandatory ROTC for senior high students on Thursday. The DND explained that the program is a way to prevent the possible recruitment of the youth to communist fronts in college. In the past 2 weeks, some parents went to the Senate to narrate how they supposedly lost their children after being recruited by leftist groups in their respective universities. But Senator Amy Marcos wasn't too happy about how military training appears to be forced under the ROTC program.
Ang sinasabi natin, kapag naging mandatory ang ROTC, pinipilit natin ang bawat isang mag-aaral na maging sundalo. Sa pakiwari ko, hindi napipilit ang sino man na maging sundalo. At kapag pinilit, hindi magiging magiting, mahusay o matapang.
The department clarified that the ROTC is not looking to enlist students to the military, since the UN Convention on Rights of the Child mandates that only adults aged 18 and above can be recruited to the service. However, ROTC graduates will only be registered to the database of the AFP. If the proposal is passed into law, the Education Department will teach the program through reservist instructors. The DND claims the ROTC program will be a big help in promoting nationalism to the youth. But for Senator Pia Cayetano, teaching nationalism to senior high students may already be too late.
It's not necessarily through military means that love of country. How many hours of a student's life will go into this training when they could be doing life skill trainings?
And despite some opposing views, Senator Bato de la Rosa believes that the Senate can reach a consensus. But in a surprising turn of events, De La Rosa lost his cool when a representative of the National Union of Students of the Philippines questioned the senator's stance on the possible release of convicted rapist murderer Antonio Sanchez. That's because, according to the neophyte senator, Sanchez should have a second chance. It looked like the question took De La Rosa off guard as he suddenly burst into a fit of rage.
Halatang iniinsulto ko nung bata na yun. Na wala man sa topic yun. Ano pakialam ni Mayor Sanchez doon sa ROTC?
The NUSP representative apologized to the committee for asking the question. De La Rosa took this as an example to further push for the revival of the ROTC so that the youth may be disciplined. Senator Richard Gordon supports the restoration of mandatory ROTC, but says the DND and DepEd should first clarify their reasons for doing so. Other senators are also asking for the budgetary requirement of the program if it ever pushes through. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
Meanwhile, here are the biggest stories from the dailies. Filipino Star ngayon reports that several provinces have now issued orders temporarily suspending hog importation following increasing number of pig deaths this month due to a disease that is yet to be identified. Several towns in Pangasinan have issued checkpoints, while in Guiguinto, Bulacan, authorities ordered to close warehouses where pork products are placed. In Bohol, LGU officials ordered to stop the transport of pork meat that do not have health certifications. Now, the Agriculture Department expects to have more information on the swine deaths by September. The president is now setting his eyes on the Bureau of Internal Revenue as the next agency up for corruption cleaning. The Philippine Star reports that President Duterte made the statement after calling for some changes in the corporate income tax assessment, saying that the current scheme allows high-level corruption from the BIR officials. Duterte said some companies are in cahoots with corrupt examiners and are not paying the right amount of taxes. The Freeman reports that the Coast Guard has suspended trips from Cebu and Bohol to areas affected by Tropical Cyclone Ineng and the southwest monsoon. Trips of vessels weighing 250 tons gross and below that were bound for areas affected by the storm had been canceled. Although Ineng may not have a direct effect on Cebu and the Visayas, Pag-asa earlier said that the habagat will continue to bring scattered rains and strong winds in the region. Ineng has intensified into a severe tropical storm overnight as it moves closer to Luzon. Tropical cyclone wind signal number 2 is now up in Batanes. Residents should prepare for strong winds that may damage old roofs made of galvanized iron. Now, classes from preschool to high school are also suspended. Meanwhile, signal number 1 is up in several parts of Luzon, namely Apayao, Babuyan Group of Islands, Cagayan, Ilocos Norte, Isabela, Kalinga, and Northern Abra. Winds of up to 60 kilometers per hour and intermittent rains may be expected within the next 36 hours. Business may be carried out as usual except for flood occurrences. Now, Pag-asa spotted Ineng earlier this morning at 580 kilometers east of Tuguegarao City, Cagayan, with maximum sustained winds of 95 kilometers per hour and gustiness of 115 kilometers per hour. It is moving west-northwest with a speed of 20 kilometers per hour. Now, still, the severe tropical storm is not expected to make landfall over any part of the country and may leave the Philippine area of responsibility by Saturday evening or Sunday morning. Both Ineng and habagat will bring cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms over the rest of Luzon and Visayas. While over in Mindanao, weather will be generally fair, though localized thunderstorms are still possible within the day. Let's fast break now to Sports Rush. The champions have been dethroned, and for the first time in franchise history, Cignal is heading to the PSL All-Filipino Finals. The HD Spikers swept its semis outing against the Blaze Spikers to knock out the crown off their heads. Game 2 was another thriller 5-setter. Down to 2-0, Petron clawed its way back up in the third and fourth sets to bring a game to a decider. But longtime partners Jovelyn Gonzaga and Rachel Andakis just won't be denied their finals ticket. Both volleyballs scored double-double figures with Jack Donella owning the floor defense with 30 excellent digs and 21 excellent receptions. Now with that, Cignal begins its final push for the crown with Game 1 of the PSL Finals set for Saturday.
I'm so thankful kay Lord. Si Lord talaga may control ng lahat. Thankful ako sa lahat na nagtiwala. Lahat talaga naniniwala, nagtiwala. Worth it yung patience ko sa pag-aantay. Ang lagi ko sinasabi sa management, babawi ako sa nila. Babawi ako sa Cignal management. Sa lahat na taong nagtiwala sa akin, sobra akong thankful sa kanila at binabalik ko talaga sa kanila lahat.
And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again next time for another round of Rush. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.